Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of our Procore Practical Proficiency Program. I am Jim Coppinger of ZenTech Consultants, the nation's leading preferred Procore certified consulting partner, and also your construction support specialist. So in this series, we're trying to show you guys some practical hands-on uses of some of the lesser used or lesser understood tools inside of Procore, simple daily things that can make your life a lot easier. And with that in mind, today I wanted to talk about simple drawing markups. And markups are a really important tool, right? No matter what you're doing in the construction world, there's always going to be changes, there's going to be sketches, there are notes, there are alterations and additions, and there's just a million things that we have to annotate and share with other people, or even just leave for reference for ourselves. And that can be really difficult to share. If you're doing it on a piece of paper, you got to scan it and email it to people, or even if you have a good dedicated system, like Bluebeam Review or something like that, where you've got all kinds of great tools for markup, sharing and distributing those PDFs and making sure everybody's got the latest versions and so on, it can be tough. Right? There's just a lot of administrative back end that has to go into that. And what I wanted to show you today is that Procore has built-in markup tools that works right within the drawing system of Procore that can really make your life a lot easier. Right? So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump over here into Procore, into my drawing setup here on my example project. And we'll just start here with this idea of this typical detail sheet, right? My S002. So maybe there's a detail on that sheet that I need to go in and I need to make some changes or modifications on based on the real world situation. I can just go ahead and open up the drawing. And you see that when I open up the drawing over here on the top right, I can toggle my markups on and off. And you see over here I get a toolbar that I can use for adding in markups. So let's say that here I got this change in wall thickness detail. And I'm just going to zoom in on that, and I can just roll forward using my mouse button. And here I can go in, and if I need to start adding in any type of comments and whatever I want. All right, so for starters, you see I've got pen and highlighter setups, right? So I can kind of freehand sketch. I can adjust down at the bottom here the color for each of those items, and I can adjust the width for each of those items. All right, so let's say, for example, that I'm going to go with the pen tool, and I'm going to do green. And let's go with we'll do 8 points so it shows up nice and heavy. And you see that here I can go in and I can just kind of sketch something in. So if I wanted to go in and note that, hey, over here I'm going to put in some kind of an L channel, right? You see I can adjust that and set that in. If I want to highlight this whole wall or a section of the wall, I can click to the highlighter, and let's change our highlighter to be yellow, and I'll make it as wide as I can with a 24. And now you see I can go in and I can kind of highlight, maybe we're doing some kind of a special finish along this area that I wanted to highlight. And you can see I just freehand sketch in. But I can also go in and I can use predefined shapes. So if I want to put like a cloud bubble around this so everybody knows what I'm doing here, again, I can set the color. Maybe I want to put it in like a red cloud bubble. So I can just go in and say, hey, okay, I've modified or I'm changing that detail. Okay? I can put in arrows and lines. So if I need to, I didn't like the freehand sketch, maybe I would put in like, some rebar or something in here. Right? And just go ahead and switch to a line. Right? And again, I can adjust. Let's bring that down to like an 8-point line, and we'll make it, purple so that we can see it. You see that I can just go in and say, look, I'm going to draw a line kind of from here over, and I can hold down the Shift key, right, to get a nice straight line. Right? See, I can get it nice and straight, and say, okay, I'm going to put in some, rebar in there, and then I can actually go in. I can start adding text and labeling things. Right? So I can go in and just kind of create a text box and say, hey, this is, number 5 rebar at 16 inches. Oh, see, my typing's bad. Each way, each face. Okay, and you see that here I can actually adjust the height and the size just by using this little slider bar. So I can make my text bigger or smaller as I need. Okay, I can go back in and fix my bad typing and then just click away from it. Right? And I can put arrows to point to that if I want. Like I said, I can go back here and I can put in an arrow, right, that goes from here to here, right? Or rotate it the other way if I want. If I didn't like the way that was, I can delete that. Say okay, and let me go back and put the arrow to go the other way. I want to go with my arrow, right, from here to here. Okay, so I can easily go in and do that. I can measure distances. I can measure areas. I can freehand in sketches. I can calibrate the scale of a document so that my measurements are correct. I can just pick any two known dimensions. Right? I also have the ability, and again, we're focusing on those simple tools here today, but I want to show you that there are more advanced tools here, that I can create links to other drawings in my drawing set, right? I can even go in, I can add photos, and I can create links to any of my predefined Procore structures. So if I have punch list items, construction issues, right, or observations that I've already defined in my project, I can just click on them and put pins to any of those on any of these documents in these drawings. Now, I can zoom in and out as I need to. I can select, right, individual items. I can do mass selects, you know, whatever I need to do to select and modify and adjust these. Now, what I really like about this is that there are actually two methods for dealing with your markups, right? And if you go over here, you can see that I have my filter. When you first put in markups, they come at two levels, personal markups and published markups. Personal markups will stay in your document, but they're visible only to you. And this is fantastic for you to just be able to go in and add notes and comments and follow-up items or sketches or ideas or anything that you need to keep track of and don't want to forget about a particular portion of your job that no one else needs to see. You just leave them there. They're yours. When all markups go in by default as personal, okay, and you see that all these markups, if I turn them off, those are my personal markups right now. Everything goes in as personal. But when you have certain items in here that you need to share with everyone else, then you can just go to those items, right? And I can select multiple items if I need to. If I need to do a multi-select here, I can select those all. And you see that I can actually publish these. And when I publish those, they now become public items. See, they're now all published. Now when I go out and I close out of this document, those are published items. So now whenever people go in and they want to go to this drawing, right, and they want to look at it or open it up, anybody is going to be able to see, even in like the preview views and so on, everybody can see and access my markups, right? And that's the idea, that we can do both personal and private markups, right? It's a really outstanding set of tools, very, very easy to use, and it's got some much more advanced functionality built into it that we really didn't have time to get into in today's setup. But I will point out to you guys that we are certified Procore consultants here at ZenTech Consultants. We're here to help you guys. If you want to know more about how to use those advanced drawing tools or really get into more detail and training, we can certainly help you with that. But we're also here with all our construction support services. If you guys need help at any level with your construction projects, you're just a little overworked, need a little additional help, or setting up, configuring, and training on your Procore, whatever the case may be, ZenTech Consultants is here to help. Have a good day, everybody.